What's up guys, this is Heiss, and we're here at the Museum of Colorado Crossings today. And it's really exciting because we're about to do some fun switching of things around. 491's been pulling passengers all day and it's been great. But we're gonna now have a very cool recreation of a 1940s Rio Grande Southern charter from BB and Clegg. And we're about to switch engines and make it happen. C20 is on the turntable right now. Been sitting over at the shop, giving cab tours, and she's about to take off and go chase 491 for the last run of the day. These sorts of operations are some of the most fun to do at the museum because they involve a lot of switching and changing things. Going around in circles is fun, but it can get a little old. So the fact that we've got 20 right over here, and we're going to be chasing 491 around, and then get 20 spotted up to pick up its train, and 491's gonna have to pull the train out for 20, means that we're gonna have a lot of coordination, a lot of unique moves that always make things a little bit more fun. So events like this are a lot of fun for the train crew. So we're here at the lead switch to the roundhouse. This is where all the trains come out to actually get on the main line and start operating. 491's train is in the boarding area right now, and as soon as it takes off, 20 is gonna come join it. C20 is there. And the lead comes in through here, through dual gauge madness, and ultimately runs out to the main track there. And the GoPro didn't die. So we're up above the cut here at the Colorado Railroad Museum. You can see the track down below us. And 491 just got finished running down that way at the station. But this is what we can see from up here above the cut. We can see downrange, there's 20 waiting on the main, And in the siding next to it is the special train for Colorado crossings that 20 is going to be pulling. It's a really unique train. We'll talk about it a little bit more in just a little bit. But 491 is going to have to go grab the train, pull it out so that 20 can grab it. Then 491 is going to have to pull ahead and shove its train back in the siding over here. So there's 20 spotted at No Agua next to her train. Those two tracks come together, the West No Agua switch, and run down to the boarding platform where 491's sitting right now. There's another switch just beyond the backhoe there at the pump house that comes to the Table Mountain spur. Table Mountain spur is this spur right here. So 491's gonna dig out 20's train for 20. 20's gonna grab it from 491, then 491's gonna put its train in Table Mountain. Then 491's gonna get to go night-night. And then 20 will once again be doing the honors for an excursion replicating the same excursion that she pulled in the 1940s for the notorious photographers Charles Clegg and Lucius Beebe. And word out on the street is that some of the museum's management has dressed up for the occasion. Should be pretty fun. Highball! So getting out of the station here, you're in a tight curve, slight uphill as well, and 491 likes to be a little bit slippery out the station, so I got sand going on with that small valve. That's what the hissing sound is. And if it wasn't challenging enough, the brakeman has something to say as well. 491, go ahead. Flying into No Agua siding, 491. Silent. Have my switch speed if you need it. It's always important to check both the target and your switch points, and especially so when switching. Red target means we're going into the siding here at No Agua. Oh my god, I think Lucius Beebe is in that train car. The brakeman's giving me car counts to make the hook. Gives me 2 cars, and I answer back with a simple 2 toots on the whistle. And then I grab some air for the train behind me. Remember, there's still a whole train behind me, so that when we do stop, I don't bump the cars around too bad.
So we're going in, picking it up, going back.
Yep.
Cool.
Brakeman gives me a nice easy stop, and then he asks me if he can go in between the engine and the cars. So I have to center up the Johnson bar, apply the brakes, make sure that I'm not going to move while he's in there doing whatever he needs to do. Once I've done that, I give him a wave of the hand saying, yes, you can go in.
Let's see if I can destroy some of these cars.
All right, so wait. There's one fun thing that I want to talk about here. I'm jokingly saying, let's see if I can destroy some business cars. But there's actually a whole neat thing about narrow gauge passenger cars, wooden passenger cars at that, and old wooden passenger cars. It's important context right here. Business cars are usually a tail car, or closer to a tail car. And here we have 2 of them on the back of 20's train, and I'm moving the 491, which weighs over 150 tons, plus 6 cars behind me? 6? No, 5 cars behind me. Details. And I'm trying to gently couple in to draft gear that's hanging from an extended observation platform. These cars were built a long time ago, pre-1880s in the case of the B8. And as such, being old, kind of tail use only for the most part, the draft gear and the couplers underneath the platforms are not the best. So it's a legitimate concern to handle them very gently when you go and couple in, which is why you can see the way that I operate the throttle is a little bit different than when I was charging up the hill. When I was leaving the station, getting up the hill, pull the throttle out, shut it back. Pull the throttle out, let it sit, shut it back. And in this one, it's just a little tap. Little tap, little tap. 491 is a steam dome throttled superheated engine, which means that between the throttle valve and the pistons, there's a lot of piping, like 2 to 3 times the length of the locomotive amount of piping. So you open that valve, and you're going to start building pressure up against the piston. And until it exhausts by the piston moving or opening a drain or something, it's going to collect there. And if you leave it open too long, you'll build up a bunch and want to go moving really fast. And you don't want to do that when you're talking about handling 2 business cars on the end of this train. So I sit there and I just pop the throttle, and then it just gently starts to go. The other option would be to open the cylinder cocks and listen for the sound change of the steam and be actively bleeding the steam. But that's really annoying. Hurts everyone's ears and blows the lubrication everywhere, which is not ideal. Like, obviously, you got to get moisture out, but using them as a way to regulate pressure isn't necessarily ideal. I left them closed, just giving it a little bit of steam, and actually made a pretty nice hook. And right there is one of those little dynamic things that makes running steam such a fun challenge, where I picked up the second piston, it started going the other way and was able to accept steam again. And all of a sudden I got a lot more force than I was expecting, and so I had to grab a bunch of air to make sure I didn't fly into the back of the train. It's really precise based on the way the wheels are clocked when you're going so slow.
Okay, that wasn't too bad. Well, that's good. Stretching them back. And I best stop shining my headlight at Lucius Beebe and Charles Clegg. Where's the brides? People got fired from the railroad for having their light shine into a business car. Really? Literally. Engineers have been fired for that.
Next on K37 Kitchen, K37 sandwich.
Oh, wow.
I'm the meat. It's a K37 sandwich.
Backing this whole mess up.
Let's tear a drawbar out of the business car.
Getting nothing more than that.
I'd like a copy. It's coming back 6 cars, over.
That's nice and gentle, sweetheart. We'll teach you. Okay, that notch.
She's like, no! I don't like that one. She's like, I want it here. Sounds like 91. She'll tell you what she wants. Oh, yeah. They all do.
There you go, man. Don't you lock your throttle on me right there, sweetheart. Gently, gently, gently.
Beautiful. This is not an easy locomotive to make small movements.
An X20 needed to be put on the head end. And you'll note we didn't put air on that front part of the sandwich, as it were, because it was on the uphill end of us. If it was going to come loose, it was just going to run back into us again. And so 20 was going to back on, cut the air in, do an air test, and then 20 was just going to depart right off the top of us.
Car's moving, that's a good sign.
Yeah, we're not moving, so yeah, that's ideal.
Yeah.
Via the train,
Likely to.
I love it how they got the caboose in front of the business cars. That's how the real train was.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. They got a charter, and that's what RGS gave them.
Except like 20 more stops, but you know.
Now with 20 out of the way and switches realigned, it was time for us to pull ahead and shove our train back into Table Mountain Spur. And then from there, it was time for 491 to go to bed and 20 to take the show.
20 cars eastbound.
Copy that. Pulling 20 cars eastbound. Here we go. We are lined and locked for the main.
Anywhere there.
Billy Mormons.
491, you're clear back for 8 cars, over.
Clear back for 8 cars. Here we go. Yeah, we'll see her.
Yep. Some of that land's for some reason.
Did you catch how long the engine kept chuffing after I shut the throttle there? When you're doing these slow speed switching moves, less is more. It really, really is. There's so much pipe after you have control that if you just leave it too much, you're going to get going too quick. And you're doing a shove movement on narrow gauge railroad into a lesser used spur with wood cars on the rear with a giant K37. Take nice little bites, just keep it chuffing, and just know that you've got the steam flow and only have the throttle really open if you're going at a decent speed that the pistons are actually eating up all that steam.
There you go.
6 cars, 491. Cars, 191. Cars, 191. One. That'll hit 191.
Stopped. I gave the brakeman a 20-pound reduction on the train so that the handbrakes would be easier to apply at a more effective way with these old-style handbrakes. They tied the train down, we pulled ahead, and time for the world's most abbreviated water stop in history.
Concept of it. You could get 20 and 20. Beautiful. Yeah, very nice.
So with 491 out of the way, it was time for 20 to take the BB and Clegg special around the museum. This is really cool because it helped coordinate with a exhibit on BB and Clegg at the Colorado Railroad Museum that opened on the same weekend. Everything was kind of themed together. And I'm far from an expert on these two gentlemen, but Lucius Beebe and Charles Clegg were kind of renowned railroad photographers, and they did a bunch of different writings, took pictures, etc. Meeting in the early 40s, came together, and they really brought the image of the railroader to the modern day public at that time. And so they were pretty notorious for the individuals that they were, and they traveled around the country photographing and documenting railroading. And one of the things they did was ride the Rio Grande Southern, and we have a representation of that train with the two business cars, the 0404 and the 20, that were actually in the train. I'm not sure which business cars it were, but the caboose 0404 and 20, of course, were actually part of their charter. And then, of course, our version is abbreviated because we're at the museum and we don't have 20-ish stock cars lying around, let alone 20-ish stock cars that are serviceable. But it was great to recreate an abbreviated version of the train, and it was a bit of a heavy train, and watching 20 and listening to 20 pull a heavy train is just perfection. Oh my god, there they are back from the dead! BB and Clegg! Actually, it was Rob and Paul, the deputy and executive directors of the museum, and they had no fun dressing up and playing the part, I'm sure, all weekend. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this look at what the Colorado Crossings event was like, at least at the exciting, interesting part of the switching for us. We had a lot of fun. It was a lot of work and a lot of work to get to the event, but always cool when you get a couple trains operating at the museum at the same time. Make sure you come out and see us at the Colorado Railroad Museum at the events coming up through the summer. They're announced on the museum's Facebook and the website, and if you guys like me to keep you in the loop, by all means, let me know. We have a lot of fun. So come out and see us. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, guys.